What's going on, everyone? The Bad Habits here, aka TBH. Welcome to the shit show. I mean, Food Fight. Yay! Full disclosure now, this is the first animated feature length film that we are doing on this series. I think in total I've only done now 3 animated film reviews. My very first review ever was on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, if you can believe that. So yeah, if you do decide to check that video out, please know that was a much more primitive version of what I do now. I'm definitely gonna need to update that review one of these days. The second animated review I've done was last year in 2023 for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. I am definitely gonna need to add that one to the collection. If this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button while you're at it. If you're a returning viewer, you know how much I appreciate you, so thank you, everyone. But enough of that, let's get into today's episode of The Shit Show. Per usual, we must read the plot synopsis via Wikipedia. Let's see. Food Fight! Exclamation point. Takes place in a Marketropolis supermarket, which after closing time transforms into a city inhabited by Ikes, which are personifications of well-known food mascots. For example, Mr. Clean, Charlie Tuna, stuff like that. The story follows a cereal brand mascot, Dex Dog Detective, who along with his best friend, Daredevil Dan, joined forces with their fellow Ikes to fight against the forces of the evil Brand X, who threaten to take over the entire supermarket. Ooh, that's some dramatic shit right there. Hold up, ain't this about a bitch, y'all? The whole movie is free on YouTube. Let me just fucking scrub through. Here, pick a random spot. You can just watch this entire flick. I guess you don't have to be a moron like me and buy a physical copy, which I must add, honestly. To be fair, I didn't actually pay money for this film. I'm a frequent user of the eBay app, so in this case, it was a buy two, get one free from Goodwill. But hey, if you can't believe me as far as like how ridiculous this movie is, check it out. You got shit to lose.
His name was Dexter, a great detective. And with his pal Daredevil Dan, he would always get his man. But when she vanished, he was a failure. So he stopped being a sleuth, cause he couldn't find the truth.
If you've seen the movie Sausage Party or the series, which I have not seen, if you've seen those, you might have somewhat of an understanding about the concept behind this film. So we have the real world right here, okay? Real world right there. That's the one we live in. Apparently, it's just animated, okay? Walk with me here. Within this real world, we have this store, the Marketropolis, or whatever the fuck it's called. Once it closes for the night, it literally becomes a city. What was once aisles filled with goddamn groceries and tampons or whatever you need is now a city that's inhabited by real tiny humans and food mascots. Motherfuckers have their own vehicles, planes, and shit. Like, it's bizarre. Enter Dex Dog Detective, our star, played by Charlie Sheen.
His name was Dexter, a great detective.
Well, I guess voiced by Charlie Sheen. I doubt he was in the fucking mocap suit based on this stiff ass animation, which we will get to real shortly here. Hang in there. You gotta realize something. This came out in 2012. I'm sure it was in like 2010, 2011. This is still like peak Charlie Sheen. Or I could be mistaken entirely, and this could be, right when everything went to shit, and this was when he was fired. Either way, this motherfucker had a name. especially in this era. We get a bit of a cold open here, folks. We just pan in on Dex, who's on top of a hot air balloon fighting a giant hairless mouse and some type of minion creatures. I don't know, folks. This is a goddamn fever dream, okay? We're not 5 minutes in at this point, and I am already just taken aback at how this shit looks. I did almost shit myself laughing. Early on, they show you that they have no money for anything else outside of this voice cast, okay? We have Wayne Brady, Ava Longoria, Hilary Duff, who's probably the worst one in this film. And that's saying something, believe it or not. We got Christopher Lloyd, and yet 5 fucking minutes into this feature, you look at the animation and you just quickly know that this is not going to be on par with the talent that they've gotten. But I'm laughing my ass off already, especially when he jumped off the hot air balloon. When I say he, I'm talking about Dex, dog fucking detective here. Yeah, already I'm getting ready to piss my pants. Early on, while we're doing the introductions of these characters, be prepared for a lot of unnecessary intros and cameos. Some of these people get intros and never show up again. I'm not shitting you people. Dex is joined by his best friend, if I'm not mistaken, it's Danger Dan or some shit like that. I know I read it in the intro, but I already forgot. He is voiced by Wayne Brady, and he is like so black. I mean, like 90s black. Like, yo, what's up, though? Chicks dig chocolate, man. Sir, stop. And I want to get back to Hilary Duff, who I mentioned is the worst one in this film, okay? I mean, no offense to her. I mean, she probably didn't record her lines with anyone else, so there's that detachment. I'm gonna give her some leeway here, but what the fuck? Her intro fucking scene is her and Dex on this little like picnic date in the park. They got this fucking Italian ass moose as their waiter, gabagool and all that shit. The whole thing is she's animated completely different. Let's just be real. Between the goddamn cat ears and her dialogue and hand gestures, I don't know if I can get banned for doing this on YouTube, so I might want to blur this part out. One of her first lines is, her and Dex are enjoying a meal. She fucking pulls out her favorite, which is ice cream, and just listen to this, people, and watch the hand.
And forget about it. For dessert, we got...
Ice cream, my favorite. You want a lick?
Yes. No.
Cut to fucking Dex, like, sweating his ass off. Like, fuck yeah, I do. Goddamn right. I mean, no. Oh, look at that great family entertainment, kids. Eat your green vegetables, look both ways when you cross the street and all that shit. Most importantly, watch Foodfight. Yeah, kids. Yeah. I am baffled at some of the shit that they can put in this film, okay? In the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, I've seen shit like this squeak by. And it's like, okay, they're definitely of their time, but this is so outdated for 2012, folks. There's no way this shit should have squeaked by. It's full of so many just nasty puns, and there's horrible shots. So let's just be real. There's one shot in here that almost reminded me of fucking Megan Fox from that second Transformers film. I mean, you could almost see lips, and I ain't talking about these up here. That's all I'm gonna say for now. We'll get to it later. But, there's puns like kiss my additives. Dex straight up tells Ava Longoria's character that, that she's been through the wash plenty, and if you know what I mean. There's also another scene like this.
Wait! I haven't shown you my secret ingredient.
The secret's inside.
This shit is so outdated that the references to the mascots, for example, These references are outdated for 2012. Which kid was talking about fucking the Twinkie boy or Charlie Tuna? The fucking Hawaiian Punch kid. I mean, no one's talking about this shit, okay? I'm exhausted myself, people. Let me do a pro really quick. I appreciate that there are stakes in this film. You know, if I'm really fucking trying to pull something out of nothing. So the A plot of this film is Brand X is taking over the supermarket. We're getting rid of, you know, the classic well-known brands that we know and love. I get it. No one likes change. So apparently in this film, the logic is once a Ike is destroyed or removed, disposed of, if you will, their brand starts to go with it. So it's blatantly said in the film by Dex that the Ikes are the soul of the brand, so one could not function without the other. That's essentially what he's saying. And the B plot revolves around Dex trying to solve Hillary Duff's, Sunshine Goodness's. That's her fucking name, Sunshine Goodness. I double checked. The B plot revolves around him searching for her who disappeared about 6 months ago, just without a trace. Insert the main antagonist of this goddamn film. Meet Professor or Mr. Clipboard, Mr. X, whatever the fuck it is. This motherfucker knows how to make a goddamn entrance, people. Whatever he does, he is mid fucking seizure, and I hope the audio doesn't sound as bad, but this is what the fuck he's doing the entire time. It's goddamn Christopher Lloyd here. What are we doing? He's our main antagonist because he exists in the real world outside of the Marketropolis. He's the one who's coming into the store replacing this brand with Brand X, and they're just fucking taking over, just territory by territory. Starting to sound a little familiar. I mean, it would be on the nose, honestly, but you know, it's almost sounding like a little bit like, you know, a figure that was around like 80-ish years ago. You know, one of those type of people, you know, famous for a mustache. I'm just drawing a blank on his name, but you know, this is a film aimed at kids. They wouldn't go that far, y'all. There wouldn't be any, you know, goddamn Nazi or Gestapo references in here at all. These are just, you know, cartoon Saturday morning villains. Kids, don't worry. I'm kidding, of course. This shit is aimed at adult morons just like me. Early on in the film, we have this huge mixer where, you know, just all the fucking brands are just under one roof, apparently. Goddamn California Raisins in the background doing their thing. I mean, I don't think I could show this clip with audio at least because they're singing in the background, but that took me back. My grandmother used to have these statues in her living room of the California Raisins. So I remember just being taken aback once again. But this is for people like me, not kids in 2012. Now, once again, I come back to that point. But overall, I did actually enjoy this party. Yeah, even though there's a lot of shit humor and Mrs. Butterworth trying to put her moves on Mr. Clean. He's just like, try someone else, bitch. And there's these hilarious fucking shots of the humans just attempting to dance, I'll say. Oh, man. Yeah, this is probably the highlight of this film for me. And guess what happens? We get a titular food fight. It's just a bunch of people throwing shit at each other and throwing hands. It's a goddamn battle royale of food brands and Mr. Clean.
Sorry, I'm too hot for you. Please bear in mind, I am in fact flightless.
Party's over. Time to banana split out of my club.
And woof, look at this, people. Ava Longoria's character, Lady X. Look at her. She's in a skimpy little schoolgirl outfit. Just good old entertainment for the entire family here. Are you hot and bothered yet? Me too. So at this point, Brand X is taking over the store. Dex changes from his typical outfit into his Indiana Jones fit for some reason. The Gestapo boys arrive, and guess what? They're villains. just like you thought. They're really taking over territory by territory. And I mean, the fucking imagery from this alone is... What is... This is a real thing, people, that someone paid for. This shit cost somewhere between 45 and 65 million and only made like 70 something grand. This was the biggest of turds, and now I know why I hadn't heard of this film until recently. I had to seek this film out, personally. This was not something that just stumbled upon me, but yeah, I really need to do something special for the first animated episode of the shit show. I had to do it, folks, so here we are. And I must say, people, I've only recently become a fan of animation again. Yeah, I went through a phase from like 09 to 2020 or so. I went through those years just like, oh, I'm too old for animations and, cartoons are for kids. But now I've kind of hit my second childhood, I guess, because I'm fully into this shit. So believe me, as a fan of animation, hence why I'm surrounded by animated classics such as Bolt, fucking Roger Rabbit, Foodfight, exclamation point. It's hard to look at after a while. I thought I would settle into this shit, but like we're halfway through the film and I'm writing my notes like just with bated breath. I don't even know what to write down at this point in the film. It's just looking at it, it's full of diarrhea and poop references. This is a turd. The literal The Shit Show. Like, this is what this series was made for. And I can't believe this, but the worst is yet to come. General X, the leader of the Brand X takeover. Don't leave anyone that you love with this person, okay? This motherfucker is sick in the head. Editor, cut to a clip right now.
All violators will be punished. I do so hope there are violators. I love a good violation. I love anything to do with violation.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Yes, violation. I love a violation. Anything to do with violation. And that's not it either. This motherfucker is brutal. He is killing people like they're in fucking Mortal Kombat. At one point, he has a goddamn elephant strapped down, and he's just drilling it in the goddamn face. I kind of love this scene, to be honest with you. But I'm going crazy, people. I haven't snapped this much while watching a bad movie since probably White Chicks. Or Chronicles of Riddick, either way. Dex, he's just trying to get to the bottom of things here. He's trying to figure out where Sunshine Goodness is, how to stop Brand X, General, Lady, Mr., all those motherfuckers. He's just trying to get shit done. So he risks it all, goes out to the real world, and this is where we're introduced to this vampire bat. For anyone watching this who, just needs me to refresh them, I, TBH, am not a straight man. I have a boyfriend. We live here in this apartment together. We're about to move as of this recording in like 3 weeks or some shit. So shit's a little hectic right now and things are going to look a little different soon. But let me say, there's nothing wrong with experimenting and trying out new partners and genders. This one is just way too overt. This motherfucker loves chocolate, quote unquote, and has his eye on Danger Dan. I mean, even makes him uncomfortable. Look at this shit, people.
Hold on. Hold the line. Is that the enticing scent of rich, creamy chocolate? Are you chocolate? Are you made of chocolate? Really?
If you're giving someone the fuck me eyes and they respond like that, you need to back off. Just accept what is and move on. It's not bad enough for him to be horny, but he's also handsy as all hell. Like, we are breaking so many barriers with this film, and not in a good way, people. Not in a good way. Even Lady X, she changes into her Gestapo outfit near the end. Fuck it, we're near the end at this point. She releases a fleet of planes from her vagina.
Run while you can, Dex Dog Detective. For soon I'll have you sitting up and begging for mercy.
No, Kaylee, it stink. It really do stink.
Okay, yes, not from her vagina, but look at how this is framed, and why can I see a little bit of it on the side? This shit is just embarrassing for all involved. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, people, but like, I cry a tear each night for every brand on display here. Like, you know, one of these brands thought this was gonna be their big break, and they're just gonna cash in these checks for life. You know, they're gonna live off royalties from Foodfight. So many parents involved with the making of this film. Like, this is gonna be our shot. Kids going to fucking Harvard next year, and then it releases. It makes not even 100 grand, and it's like, well, kid, how about the Marines or the Job Corps? But hey, at least we get a final big battle royale fight with the Gestapo versus the Market Tropolimbians. I don't know what to call these motherfuckers. The Ikes, yeah. So now we have Ikes versus the Gestapo, and it's not what you want it to be. Let's be real. All the brands you recognize, they may show up, may or may not, but they won't show up with speaking lines. Some of the humans that appear in there, you'll see them like copy and pasted awkwardly within the same section or cluster. Oh my god. What else? We got the tanks from Tiananmen Square who can shoot ketchup. That's kind of fun, right? I mean, I'm okay with that. We have fucking airplanes getting destroyed by bubblegum. Fucking Lady X is twerking on a roof. People, I mean, families. What more could you want? The director inserts himself as a character named Cheezel the Weasel, which is a moving piece of shit who's shaped like a weasel. But, I mean, look at this doo-doo brown. And he's all slimy and gushy. Come on now. He's a piece of shit. Goddamn director inserts himself into the story like it's a goddamn Shyamalan film. But hey, at least Dex, he ain't bullshitting around. This motherfucker is getting shit done. He's over here flattening niggas with soup cans and throwing out one-liners like "I'll pop your corn." Fucking confronts General and Lady X. And I don't know what happened, but surprise, it's revealed. Sunshine Goodness was kidnapped by Brand X. Can you believe it? So now we're almost at the end, people. Lady X slips away, and now Mr. Clipboard, Mr. X, whatever the fuck his name is, and now he's in the fictional city within the store. And I'm like, how? What's happening here? Except, people, it is revealed that Mr. Clipboard is a goddamn robot controlled by Lady X herself. So at least that sort of explains the goddamn seizures motherfuckers having, but not enough for me. It turns out that Priscilla, or Lady X is not her real name, her brand had been recalled originally, so she went to Brazil, got a fucking BBL. Yeah, people, I am not bullshitting you. That is in the film. As if that wasn't enough, Lady X is beating the dog shit out of Dex Dog Detective. Let me tell you, people, so much so that the Sunshine Goodness has to step in and gets it done very fucking quickly without really any effort at all. This almost reminded me of recently I did a video on The Boys, which as of this recording hit like 2K views. For me, that's amazing. I'm used to like 20 or 40 people seeing these videos, so thank you for all who's tuned in. But at one point in The Boys season 4, slight spoiler here, but a character gets into a fight with a doppelganger who copies them, and it's supposed to be really empowering, but then you look back at the logic behind it, and it's like, that character that the doppelganger was fighting should have been an equal match for the doppelganger, and then this weaker person comes in and just solves it real easily. Not gonna fly with TBH here. But I digress, people. Yeah, the threat is ended. Brand X is removed from the store shelves, and all is well in the Marketropolis. Our two heroes, Dex and Sunshine, get married, and it just fucking ends right there. In the credits, we do have some clips of unused segments and footage. Y'all could have kept that shit, to be honest with you. It legit only makes this movie even worse. As if, we could have walked away with maybe something positive. You're just bombarded with these segments and just cutaways of shit we didn't need at all. And that, people, is Foodfight. This is our first animated film on this series, The Shit Show. Let's get into the ratings. All right, so on the fuckery scale, which is exclusive to this series, between high class and low brow, with high class being a good bad movie and low brow being a bad movie. Yeah, we're going with low brow here. There's just no way around that, folks. This movie is hard to watch and painful at times. I will say, for the review, however, that you've just witnessed, I had a lot of fun going over the notes, but the viewing experience, it's horrible. So with all that said, on the regular rating scale for this film, this will be another first today. The review / ranking will be fuck this movie.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Yep, I said it, folks. It just happened. Thank you, folks. With that being said, I think we're about done here. I've been the Bad Habits, aka TBH, and I'm signing out, y'all. Deuces.